Hi everyone and welcome to episode 13 of Conquer the Curse at Benfica with me, the United City FM. So, domestically speaking, my Benfica team have hit a little bit of a stumbling block. We lost to Porto in the league. They sit top of the table partway through the season. We've also got a bit of a stumbling block ahead of us in RB Leipzig in our group stage of the Champions League. We got a draw against them last game out. We play our second game against them today in the group stage. We kind of have to win to stay above them and get out of this group, I feel. Let's see how we get on. Welcome back to Benfica. So yeah, we haven't had it all our own way over the last couple of weeks in game. You can see if we go straight into the fixture list, the last couple of matches, we did get a loss against Porto and a draw against RB Leipzig, having lost to Barcelona in the group stage already. So if we just concentrate on the league just momentarily, this is not what we focus on our episodes, but we keep up to date with it. If we go into the league, you'll see that we're sitting in second. We're a game behind Porto at the top of the table. They currently have a 6-point gap. So we're going to have to win our game in hand to go 3 behind them and then hope that we beat them in our game later in the season, and also maybe 1 or 2 other teams take some points away from them at some point. Because at the moment, both of us look like we're unbeatable other than when we play each other. So we'll see what happens with that. But just at the moment, it's a little bit of a knife edge and we're not quite where I'd want us to be at this moment. In terms of the group stage of the Champions League, we got off to a very good start against Zenit, 4-1 win with them. We lost 3-2, competed really well against Barcelona in that particular match. And then we got to the first game against RB Leipzig away from home. We got a 2-2 draw away from home. So that gives me some hope that at our place, potentially we can perform better today and get the points. But all of that has meant that we sit identically with Leipzig in second and third position. We're on 4 points each. We've got a record of 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss each. We've got more goals than they have. I guess that's why we're sitting above them just at the moment, because our record against each other is identical and the goal difference is identical. So it becomes about who scored the most goals. Today, if we draw or we beat them, it will leave us in a relatively good position, because the way the group is set, I think everybody's going to beat Zenit and everybody's going to lose to Barcelona potentially. So it will just come down to this match, one-on-one. Can we get the good result and go through in this group stage of the Champions League? Let's find out. So in terms of personnel for today's match, we do have a couple of fitness issues, primarily to our rotating options in our squad rather than our first team itself. You can see listed here is 1 through 11 on the pitch in front of us for today's team. So ultimately that means that my first team is on the pitch, because that's how I number my players. So it's the likes of Theatre, Moita and Jota that have all picked up a little bit of a fitness issue and come out of the first team squad for today's match. So a few rotating options on the bench have changed. But other than that, we're looking in good form, good fitness at the moment in general. The form has been a little bit patchy. That draw against Leipzig, that loss in the league against Porto just means that today kind of need to perform well. At home, in a crunch match in the Champions League, can we do it? It's going to be a challenge, but I think we're in a good state in terms of who we've got in our first team. So hopefully we can. Hopefully those big strikers will show up for today and get some goals. We'll see. So for today's match against Leipzig, all or nothing kind of really. We go with Sanchez in goal, Selic at right back, Benzabeni in at left back, Badiashile and Zabanye in central defence, Luis and Hannibal in central midfield, Trincao on the right, Everton on the left, and Nunes and Mukoku up top, with a bench of Morata, Ramos, Svensson, Bernardo, Goncalves, Moreira and Ramos. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So it feels like a day for letting the team know exactly what we need from them. So we've pumped the fist. We've tried to rile them up a little bit and said, look, we're favourites here. We're favourites for a reason. Go and play like it in this particular match. Leipzig are a real challenging team. They're very, very good. But we're at home. We've got to make that home advantage pay. So a little bit of pressure on them. but hopefully they can rise to it. We've got some big players in here. Moukoko, Nunes, the likes of those two. Everton on the left-hand side. Trincao on the right. These are big players that potentially need to step up and do something for us in this particular match and get us to the point where potentially, whether we win or lose against Barca, whether we can beat Zenit or not, we will be above Leipzig today, and that's all that really matters to us, because I feel like, as I said earlier, everybody will beat Zenit and everybody will probably lose to Leipzig in terms of everybody being us, not Leipzig, Barcelona, and in terms of us and Leipzig. So we'll see how this particular match goes, but the pressure is definitely on us. At home, we have to get this result. We've had a couple of early chances, but nothing too spectacular so far. And now it's Leipzig on the ball, working on the right-hand side. Can we keep a defensively solid shape today and work hard to win the ball back, cause them some problems when we do? There is the chance. Selic in that right fullback position wins the ball. They had a bit of a loose moment there, and we get it back. Zabarnyi, he's improving all the time, Zabarnyi. If you're sleeping on Zabarnyi in your own saves, go check him out. He's pretty good, I would suggest, early in the game. Could be a little bit expensive, but as we go 1-0 up, we'll celebrate the fact that we've got a good attacking goal whilst talking about our defender. But he is really good. Go check him out as Moukoko gets involved in the play, lays it off to Everton, in off that left-hand side as the inside forward. So that's his job, coming and supporting the play and getting those types of goals for us. And he did it brilliantly well there. First shot on target for both teams, that was. So you can see after 15 minutes, it was a little bit quiet, really, in terms of the quality in front of goal. They've come quite defensive. They're in like a 3-5-2 formation, and so they're trying not to concede too much, it feels like, in the early part of the game. It's kind of not working for them at the moment, isn't it? We're pinning them back in a little bit on that occasion as well. We had a good chance. Probably should have done a little bit better with it. But at 37 minutes on the clock, we've got a few minutes left till half-time, and we're looking pretty good. 14 shots at goal to their 1 is pretty epic. If we could put a few more on target, that would be really good, because at the moment, that's where we're struggling a little bit. We've only had 6 out of our 17 shots now on target. We've got more possession. Our passing completion ratio is decent. Our XG rating is infinitely better than theirs because they have yet to register a shot on target. So it's all working for us. But the problem, of course, is that whilst you're only 1-0 up and you're dominating so much, they can sucker punch you in the last couple of minutes of the game if you don't put it beyond them. So we're going to have to try and do that. So now we're going to go point the finger. And we're going to say, you might be winning, but that could still change if your performance levels drop. Don't let that happen. It should help them to motivate them. It does. It's pleased a couple, motivated a couple. That's good. As my dog goes nuts in the background because somebody put something through the letterbox. That's what happens on a daily basis here. Welcome to my world. But yeah, 1-0 up, we can still get a problem here if we don't see this game through and put it out of reach. Let's see whether we can do that. Let's see if Leipzig are going to be better in this second half. And immediately they are. 2 minutes in, they've come out like a freight train, really, charging us down, got the ball, put a good ball through. It was the goalkeeper just cleared up the pitch. And unfortunately for us, our defender, Badiashile, just dropped off his attacking person he was marking and gave him all the space and time in the world to collect that ball, pass it through, and they had a reasonably simple shot at that point to challenge the goalkeeper, and it indeed got past the goalkeeper, and they go back to 1-1. That's disappointing, but we talked about it. We talked about it at half-time, saying if we don't put this to bed somehow by getting a second goal, we could get sucker punched here. Darwin Nunes tries off the free kick, but it was a long-range effort and goes over the top of the bar. 67 minutes on the clock. If we pause the game momentarily and look at these statistics, we're still ahead in possession. We are doing well in the pass completion. Our XG rating is infinitely better. We've got 23 shots at goal compared to their 3. But here's the kicker. Here is the problem. Our on-target shots haven't improved in this second half at all, even though we've had like half a dozen extra shots this half. That's where we're causing ourselves a problem. And that means what I was calling for just at the beginning of the game, for one of our big strikers to show up, Núñez specifically isn't. He's got a 6.6 average rating for this particular game so far. We've now got a knock to Everton as well, so that's a little bit of a problem. So we're going to have to take him out. Moreira comes in instead on that left-hand side. We've got a slight issue that Hannibal's below par today, but we've also got Trincao on a low conditioning. So there's a couple of dilemmas to solve here, but we have to take Núñez out. I'm disappointed by that, but what I would say so far this season is that Goncalo Ramos, the bloke I'm bringing on for Núñez at this point, is our top goal scorer this season. He's still not my first choice. He comes in and out of the team a little bit, but he usually scores when he does. So we need him to do that today. So we'll bring him on. So what would you do in this particular situation? Hannibal, 6.7 in midfield, or Trincao really struggling for conditioning? Which one would you take out? I'm going to take out Hannibal because we're going to rest Trincao after this match. But the 6.7 is something I can't really have in the centre of my midfield on this particular occasion. Hannibal's doing all right, but I think as a young player finding his feet in a new club for the first season on loan, it feels like he's struggling just a little bit to dominate that midfield. A bit, but it is what it is. So we'll come back out. 69 minutes on the clock. We'll see what we can do for this last 20 minutes or so of this second half. Hopefully, we can get a couple of clear shots at goal and put a couple on target would be good. There's Ramos dropping it off to Trincao, and that's a brilliant, brilliant finish from him. And I was justified in keeping him on rather than Hannibal. It seems he did brilliantly well. Ramos doing some very good hold-up play in that just slightly withdrawn pressing forward role occasionally. Drops in occasionally, gets involved in the play. Goalkeeper should have done an awful lot better with that one. It actually went through his hands, I think. But Trincao won't mind, and I really don't mind. 2-1 up. With about 13 minutes left to play, can we now hold on to this game and dominate the rest of it? They've still only had one shot on target the entire game. Are they going to get a second here and cause us another problem? We'll see. They do get through, and they do. Oh, Zoboszlai gets an opportunity into the box and powers the ball past the goalkeeper. I feel like the game has decided that the two of us need to draw somehow. That's what it feels like to me, because I don't think they've deserved this at all in terms of their general play, in terms of their chances created and their chances on target. I don't think they've deserved this. 4 minutes left to play. Let's go and try and win this. I feel like we should probably try and do that in the situation that we're in. So let's shoot on sight. We'll narrow it down slightly, dribble less, be more disciplined. So let the ball do the work for us, basically. So we're going to okay that and finish off the game. Hopefully we can find something in the last couple of seconds, but it doesn't look like it looks like we're going to get another draw. Now, seemingly what that does is it puts us ahead of them on goal difference, or on goals scored, should I say, because everything seems identical. So, depending on how well we do against the likes of Barcelona and how badly defeated either of us might or might not be, or how many goals we win by against the likes of Zenit, who seem to be kind of the whipping team of this particular group, this could go either way still. This was not ideal at home. I was hoping we would get a better result than this. And I think that most of our statistics suggest that we should have. I think we've been a little bit unlucky, or RB Leipzig, to be honest, have been very lucky to stay in this game. They had 2 shots on target and 2 goals from it out of 5 shots. We had 26 shots at goal, and we didn't manage to put enough of them on target and challenge the goalkeeper. That's down to our strike force today. Unfortunately, Núñez had a really poor game. It's not just him, though, but, you know, it's identifiable that he did have a bad one. But there we go. That's going to be it for this one. We didn't get the result I think we deserved or we were looking for. So now, let's see what happens in the other couple of games that we now have to play to see if we can get out of this group. So with that result being as it is, nothing has changed in the group. So if we go into our competition page, you'll see, again, we're sitting in second place. Barcelona and Zenit have yet to play their fourth match. You would expect Barcelona to win that one. We're now equal still on Leipzig on pretty much everything, other than we've scored a couple more goals than they have, and that's what's putting us into second place. Anything can still happen. As I say, it's about how much we may lose by potentially to Barcelona. If that happens, it may be also how much we can win by against Zenit to keep ourselves separate from Leipzig. Because if they start to get slightly better results than us, we are still in the doghouse here and potentially out of this group. It was not the result I was looking for today. I think we were really, really unlucky. But there we go. It is what it is. We're still in all of the other domestic cup competitions. We've still got a fight on our hands for the Portuguese Premier League. But in the Champions League, can we get through? Let's have a look at the schedule. The next game up for us is Barcelona in the Champions League group stage. And then the one that we're coming back for next episode, remember we play the 2nd, the 4th and the 6th matches in our group stages all the time that we're in them. So we get to play Zenit and see whether we can beat them in the final game of our group to see if we can go through. I think we can beat them. Can we do a good enough job compared to what Leipzig do against them? That's the challenge. So we'll see. That's going to be next episode for today. I'm really disappointed. It was such a disappointing result in the end. But I think we played pretty well in a lot of ways. I think we were FM'd a little bit. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. I hope your Football Manager 22 saves are going fantastically well yourselves. Let me know about them in the comments below. But until next time, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.